around sustainability from a financial, economic, and social perspective. There's a lot of stuff that's there that hits the whole sustainability piece. When we look at maximizing pedestrian use of our downtown development opportunities, well, my goodness, we've got a community improvement plan document that says this in spades. And this is what we've been working towards with our downtowns and our main streets. And it's all there. This is why we made a decision to put 2 recreational facilities downtown Forest, for that reason. We've got those documents, and we've accepted those documents, so we need to have them make sure that they're reflected here, and that statement does.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because I guess my concern is that maybe there is a sense that some of these things could fit in piece towards that goal, but we've never defined that as a strategic action. So that's my point. If we synthesize it down into one sound bite, which is an achievable strategic action, then that certainly helps us out. And we can't do everything in the community design plan or the community improvement plans. So just because it's there doesn't mean we're going to do it all. We only have 2 years. That's what I think we need to focus on. What do we want to do in 2 years, and have that discussion.
I guess there's a fundamental difference here. I think we're on different pages here. Someone's doing a 2-year plan, what I can do while I'm still elected, and the rest, in my opinion, a strategic plan is a longer range. It's just the direction you're going. It's not a, I got to do this before I did. And I think, I guess, what's the consensus? Are we looking at a long-range plan, or are we looking at the term of this council plan? Because I know the plan that was done in 2006 and updated a little bit in 2008 was a long-term plan. It wasn't a, this is what we do, it's the direction we're going. Councillor Underwood.
Yeah, once again, like when we go into the A block all the way down, like the first block where you got the main headings, we actually came together and we came up with statements. And these statements are a long-term strategic policy of our municipality. Our strategic actions, we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? We've already got, like Ruth was saying, we've got our what is that, the master recreation community design plan, and those 2 there, we've got the official plan,
Beach study, all of those.
all that. We have the old strategic plan,
Road needs
which
study.
fits in with this, and they have to be congruent. Now, when staff looks at our long-term strategic directions, all the other documents have to fall in place with that. And if when we go through and say, oh, that's not congruent with what we want for the long term, that's when we can modify. You look at governance, right down there, you go down to initiatives, enhance funding, there's developed multi-year, 10-year capital budgets, outlining capital investment, infrastructure. All what you're saying is pretty well in there, but this is long term. Now short term, you're right. Short term, we go to the budget and say, okay, I would like to see this happen this year or next year. And that can fit into our initiatives that hopefully will fit with our strategic plan, we will go for our goals. And so we're arguing the same thing. It's just the timeline. The first block is really for a 20-year plan, right? The strategic actions are going to help us get to that 20-year plan, and the initiatives help our strategic actions to get to that. That's all. They all build on top of each other. So you're talking about strategic initiatives, rather, sorry. You're talking about the initiatives to help us get to our actions. 2 years is not enough time for strategic action. It usually takes 4 years minimum for once we start to implement something. Most people in power are well out of power for a long time before the decisions they make turn up. So this is the way it usually goes. The people afterwards usually get the credit for the good stuff which was actually implemented 1, 2 governments before. That's just the way it works. It's not fair, it's just the way it works. And also the bad. Okay, it goes the other way too. But I think we're talking basically the same thing. We just got a different idea about where it fits. That's time.
Councillor Scott.
I still believe we have to go back to the goals, and we have to look at what the goals are. Are the goals written well enough for 20 years? What people around the table are doing is talking strategic and initiative. There's no reason under strategic actions that we can't say we want to do something like what Elizabeth said and put it under initiatives as short term. We've got 20 years to, just let me finish.
That's how this was done.
We've got initiatives here that can be split up. They don't have to be long-term, they can be short-term. We can do anything we want. We are the council making the decision at this point. But But I still believe until we look at these goals, and we'll probably have time to do that, and go through them and make sure that they're worded the way we want, or they say everything we want them to say, and they may, we can't start doing the rest yet, because we don't know what the goals are.
Councilor Monson.
Yeah, just following on, agree with Marty and what Lori has said, but I think maybe it would help this council maybe focus a little more and maybe lose this dysfunction tag. When I look, for example, on the first page, if you use this as your blueprint for initiatives, for example, encourage more downtown live work opportunities and pedestrian friendliness. We have an example in the north end, don't we? We've talked about a safety crossing at Marywood, or a safety crossing between No Frills, and that ties into that initiative. So that's something we can say to staff. We would like to extend the sidewalk to Marywood right up into town because it makes it more pedestrian friendly. And I think if we start, as Lori said, if we can agree on the goals, make this a final document, to go back to what Marty said a couple of years ago now, we stand on the shoulders of the prior council. In 2015, the next council will say the same thing. And I think if we accomplish anything in this council, I'd like to see this document become a living document, a dynamic document, and the decisions and the initiatives we take stem from it, and therefore they're defensible and they're rationalized, as opposed to being hit and miss and reacting because there's an issue, and the chamber comes to us and said, oh, we're in trouble, we can't keep the doors open if we don't, so then we do a reactive thing and say, okay, we'll give you 10 grand, and tell us what you're doing. And I think so I think you're right in terms of the long term, we've got to hit the first column, the goals. If we can agree on that, the other stuff we can flow from if we have regular meetings on it.
Starts to defeat most of the initiatives.
I think that's,
Yeah.
and I think at some point in time, this needs to be posted on our website. This is a public document, and if we can accept our goals and put it out and talk to how we communicate this needs to be put out there in some way, or a website to go to, and then ask for comment on it. Are these the goals of the people of our municipality as well? And we can ask for input. This is the draft. This is the direction we're going. Is that where the public wants us to go as well? Whether they concur with this or whether they don't, and then bring it back for further.
You'll get 12,000 different opinions.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah, Councilor.
Well, yeah, we'll get 12,000 different opinions, but that's fine, that's fine, because what's missing from all of this is that public feedback.
Yeah.
And that's where, quite honestly, we should have started, but we didn't, and that's okay. We're here now, we've got a document, we need to say, okay, we're happy with what we accept these broader goals, and let's get a little bit of feedback from the community. Let's communicate it out there so at least they see it in some way, shape, or form.
So what can we get done today? Can we go through the goals and see that the wording is what we want them?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break and we're gonna come back and do
Well, okay, but may I suggest one thing when we do the goals, when we do put it on for public documents so that it is over there, we take out the strategic actions and initiatives, and we look at our goals, and we'll do an abstract saying, eventually, when you see all the different A to H, right? When we do identify how many of the other ones are hit, we know then where a priority is, or where we should be looking at and how they can be done. That's when we can be really strategic at the initiative area to be able to further the goal.
That's right.
Any
Patty
other
wants to
comments?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing we haven't done is involve the public and look at whether these are high, medium, or low in terms of priorities. But whatever, as long as we get something out there on the website so you can get some feedback and go on, then that's fine.
Well, we have involved the public. I don't think
We've
it's fair to
involved
say we
the
have.
okay, we've involved the public in a variety of processes, I agree.
Or on an ad hoc basis, not
but
on
not
this.
ad hoc, and not a thorough look at something like this, with facilitated,
That's right.
large group, facilitated, getting feedback.
Yeah.
We haven't done that.
Correct.
So we need to do something along that line, that's all I'm saying.
Sometimes the council's gonna make a decision.
Yes, that would have been nice if we'd done it 2 years ago, but